Welcome on into the ESL Challenger League, where we are so very close to the end here. The consolidation final on deck, a rematch between Sinners and PARIVISION as both these teams try and keep the dream of the ESL Pro League alive. I'm Darth Mike. We got Alan Hender. Alan, we're so close. We're so close to EPL.
Yes, and hopefully some shorter games, Mike, after the marathon we had last night. I'm not sure we have the energy to go through that again. But yes, 3 teams left. PARIVISION, Sinners, who they'll be playing today, and then waiting in tomorrow's grand final is Bait. And I think it has to be said, Bait, for me, are quite heavy favourites. And what we need to learn today, Mike, is are either of these teams in the sort of form where we really could have a compelling grand final?
They're the final boss. They're the final boss, and a spot in the Pro League would be huge for that organization as well. So, I mean, really, for any of these remaining 3 teams, it'd be a massive opportunity if they could bring it through. But we'll just have to see about that. In the meantime, it's a rematch here, Alan. It's a rematch. They played in the upper bracket semis. Sinners won that 2-0, but in classic PARIVISION fashion, it required an overtime and a 13-11. So not exactly the most one-sided of affairs.
Yeah. Here is said bracket. For those that missed it, as mentioned, Bait, Sinners, that was the upper bracket final. The marathon game was that PARIVISION Batera game last night, which I guess we saw the best and the worst of PARIVISION over that series, Mike. The thing that we forget is actually the first map they dominated. They looked amazing. But from there on, nothing came easy. Plenty of overtimes. And certainly they'll need to have cleaned up quite a lot of their Counter-Strike, I think, overnight, because there were some fears. They might have won that series, but there were plenty of fears over the form in which they did it.
Yeah, and I think it was the back half of that Mirage game in particular that gave me so much pause, because it just felt like it was so in their favor and they could not put it away. Then we get into overtime, then we get into the third map. Very disappointing for a team that we usually look at as being quite disciplined. Now we have the veto coming through. PARIVISION are going to pick into the Ancient. We saw them go many rounds of OT last night on Ancient, so that's curious. And then Inferno coming in from the Sinners. What do you make of this veto here, Alan?
Yeah, so when they played earlier in the playoffs, it was the same first 2 maps, the same picks. And that was a 2-0 for Sinners. Ancient to go to overtime, but very close maps. I had a hunch that PARIVISION might go towards Train, but instead they've gone towards Ancient, where, I mean, they're comfortable in the sense that they've played a lot of it, but as we saw last night, doesn't necessarily mean their play has no gaps. So I think no real surprise in this veto, and PARIVISION, they were the team that could have moved this around and didn't. They decided they didn't want to take any risks.
I'm actually a little surprised that Sinners opt to play them on the same maps. I know, yes, they won last time, but it's a classic trope in Counter-Strike that it is very hard to beat the same team twice on the same maps in so many days, right? Because you're emerging from that with a victory, you're moving on to your next matchup. They're thinking, okay, where did we mess up? Where did we make the mistakes? Why? It was so close. It was very winnable. It's not like it was a blowout. They're thinking about how to do it better this time around. So I'm a little surprised that Sinners didn't opt to kick it towards an Anubis or just really anything other than the Inferno. But I guess we'll see. The proof will be in the pudding if they can do it again. Certainly hasn't been a great map for PARIVISION. They haven't played a lot of the Inferno either, so it may just be that they cannot disguise their weaknesses on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame them. Maybe for a third map, they could have pushed it maybe towards an Anubis. That could have been intriguing, but I'm certainly not surprised we've ended up where we have here in the end. I guess let's focus in a little bit on these teams. I know you unfortunately didn't get to cover the earlier series between these teams, Mike, but going into that game, it certainly felt like the storyline was PARIVISION have all the pieces to beat Sinners. They have more experienced players. They have, in my opinion, better players. Yet, Sinners were the better team in that game. And based on what we saw yesterday from PARIVISION, there are holes in this team right now, and if they bear out again, Sinners, despite maybe not having as good, puzzle pieces, they might be able to put it together better.
Yeah, and I mean, dating back for a long time, right? One of the things that Sinners has had over a lot of their competition that might have splashy or firepower pieces is chemistry. I mean, it's the reality of a full national team like this is that there's a very small talent pool for a Czech squad, and that means that there's going to be a lot of familiarity between the players, and it's something that they have used to their advantage, even with the limitations in terms of who you can bring in. They've had some decent results recently as well, right? It's all been online, but the European Pro League, placing first there, doing well in some online cups, getting third, fourths in the CCTs and the likes. It's a positive trend for a Sinners team that's kind of been an afterthought for a good long while now. I'm curious to see. I think, covered, I know I did, I think you were around for it as well, Alan, a few years ago at this point, a Sinners team making it all the way through into Pro League off of an ECL season. And that kicked off a very good year for Sinners before it kind of, once again, fell apart. So I'm curious to see if this could be another nice marker of the ascent for an organization that's kept their presence in the Czech scene for a very long time.
Yeah, you're right. The kind of early, let's say the 2025 circuit for them hasn't played out necessarily brilliantly. This is a team that throughout periods of 2021, 22, and when they came back last year, they were a top 35, top 30 team in the world, sometimes top 20. And they have declined a little bit. Obviously, there's so many roster moves that just by virtue of how these ranking systems work, you tank a lot of points as soon as you start making changes. But that is as much as we frame Sinners of the past as a team, we always expect them to be in these sort of pieces of these tournaments. This lineup, they need to play themselves back into form. It's not a given that they're going to be as good as the previous teams, and this already has to be one of their better placings I'd have thought as a lineup so far. Maybe even their best already.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only consistent pieces were B-Stick and Shock. They've been there, I think, since the beginning of Sinners. I want to say as an org, but I don't remember exactly. But they've been on the team for 5 years, which is an eternity in Counter-Strike. And then meanwhile, all of their other teammates sub a year on this roster. So it is very much a rebuild and a retool with a different era of players coming on in to join B-Stick and Shock. And, well, I mean, a second victory over PARIVISION, getting into the grand final of ECL. That would be such a massive result, even disregarding what happens in the bait game, whatever that might be. We're going to dive into the maps here. We're going to dive into the action. Sinners versus PARIVISION. Ancient, Perry's pick, went OT last time.
Yeah.
I'm very nervous for Sinners in that you gotta think that PARIVISION's been coming up with solutions to what they showed.
Has to be said that PARIVISION have played pretty much the same maps every game, it feels like at the moment. They played a lot of Ancient for sure in this playoff, so there are absolutely no excuses for being rusty or out of sorts with your strats. They should be on the ball. This is a new pistol, though. A split, straight into towards connector, and my man here, Shock, is surely not long for this world. Gets forced out of position. He is gone, and this bomb site is seeded very quickly.
Honestly, nice for Sinners to even get one there to make this possible. And that's going to make it a whole lot easier. B-Stick still got another play on the big box. Belchanov, we know he can be ferocious. Needs to be that now. B-Stick will not be allowing it. Captain of the squad is doing it all himself. And bodies are falling left, right, and center. So that retake is going to be a thing of beauty. Quick and fierce. And the bomb diffused, a smoke thrown. Didn't even really need to do that.
A knife through butter. A hot knife for that. See if we can get a better picture of this in the replays. It felt almost too easy. Kick it there is thinking of clearing Temple. Yeah, I mean, I'd say the immediate issue in that afterplant is that they need to just realize that having Donut's good enough. If you've got Donut, just play into tunnels with your remaining players. They're not going to have the util to cover off both positions on a pistol round. So yeah, potentially overthinking it. Playing a little bit alone, segregated, which has been one of the criticisms we have lobbied at this PARIVISION team. for some of their afterplants, and some is definitely the operative word because they can play very good afterplants. We've seen it in some of the other series against Na'Vi Jr. They looked pretty formidable in that respect. So I guess it boils down to some sort of communication inconsistency.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like a Jekyll and Hyde situation. Double push ins, giving opportunity. Look at the damage onto Shock. Yeah, he's not going to get away from that. Zedko, that was an ill-advised peek back in. And now the A site is compromised. This is reminiscent of what they were running on the pistol, but this time they got some guns behind it. They've dumped the util. But once that bomb's planted, this is not going to be an appetizing retake. And with Peepo out, Peppo, I suppose, it's not going to be good. Sinners are going to have to concede. They're going to have to save these two guns. That means PARIVISION. They felt like that pistol should have gone better. They run the same strat. And it does this time work out for them.
It's certainly a risky move from Sinners up against what they knew would be either an eco or a lesser buy to push these tunnels. I think Zedko swung there because he thought he was dead. He thought he couldn't fall back in towards Donut, so might as well try and take another to the grey room. Doesn't pan out. And that's another gun hitting the deck here. 4 Sinners, only B-Stick survives. Surely they'll force buy around this as well, given their loss bonus is rock bottom. And that's going to sting for Sinners. Even though they won the previous series between these teams, I don't think they have much leeway to lose rounds like these. I don't think they can give up economic advantages very often in this series and still win it.
No, I mean, when you're looking at a 16-13 and an 11 or a 13-11, you're not going through that going, yeah, we destroyed them. Yeah, no problem. Never worried. Not even for a second. Not quite. Timeout going to be used here off rip by Sinners, which is interesting. Presumably discussing how much they want to force around this one gun. I would tend to agree with you, Alan. I think they kind of have to get back on the same page. And it seems like they're going to do exactly that.
Maybe they'll do some sort of aggressive set move, because their util is so dreadful. I don't think you can play standard. It's just not an option. Something I have liked from PARIVISION actually is how they would approach this sort of round from a CT, the spot Sinners is in, where they stack a lot. And I like that on this sort of round, because you're recognizing that your buy isn't great. And I'd like to see Sinners take a bit of a risk here. What have we got? Pushing towards mid. B-Stick is going to come through this smoke. Timing is everything, and he wins the duel. And where's the communication? Nobody's looking. That's a disaster.
Absolutely is. Absolutely is. At least going to be able to scrape
they must
a
have
bomb plant out
realized,
of
Mike,
this.
because they had the site. How could they be dying from anywhere else?
They didn't. Whatever they might have known, information got confused, and now at this point it's Jame in a 1v4 that he's unlikely to attempt. He's got the molly. Is there smoke up? I think he's... Oh, no, actually, he might have just won this. He might have just won this. Molotov's gonna burn out a player. Do they have time? They don't have a kit. They don't have a kit. Jame might have just done this himself. James, a man who knows his lineups, and he has recovered. PARIVISION.
No way.
It was looking disastrous, but one Molotov well placed from Jame. And the round goes the way of PARIVISION.
Well, just as we're criticizing some PARIVISION communication, here's that moment in towards Cave.
I mean, they certainly knew he was there. Just communication doesn't come along.
I assume what happened was they were making the split-second decision to try and get on the site really fast and not worry about it. But here at the end, I'm a bit confused. I mean, as soon as that molly comes in, they should be chasing Jame as well. But I guess that is definitely a spot where communication would have been very hectic. And also that they go to double peek Jame at the end. They might have actually had time, you know, if one of them sits near the bomb, ticks a little bit and starts defusing.
I think they did.
I think they did, yeah.
The last player came off, but I mean, Jame wins that first fight and then it's just over. Okay, Travis. Okay, Travis. Not going to leave heroics for James. Just going to chew through them with the spray down. And they're not worried about the bomb plant. They want to come play a little deathmatch. Okay, someone told Kicker, presumably Kicker told Kicker, that he did in fact need to go plant the bomb. Well, if they didn't know where Peppa was, now they do. And a panel spam will take him out.
Well, it's been a little bit chaotic, but it is still a very good start for PARIVISION. Guess they lose a couple guns here when they didn't necessarily need to. But the RT side, so they can brunt it a little bit better. Let's see how they distribute the forces. Coming into this round, there's no AWP on the defense, but Util is very good. So if they want to fight for mid, if they want to fight for B, that is an option. What have we got here? Flash comes through from the red room. Zedko and company swing. PARIVISION have opted for a very passive stance in mid, and seems wise. They can take it now after all this nadage fades. Be a little bit easier.
Beastick doesn't know. The James phase through the smoke. Certainly they should be aware of the possibility, but there's always the chance that the window player gets punished. Or rather, can deal out some punishment. Now James is making noise here, trying to draw their focus because 4 players are massing in A main. And that means it's going to be on to Peppo to rebuff them. His teammate Shock is stuck in towards the donut. Now the smokes start to sail over. Peppo's trying to get utility down range. That nade's well placed, but a Molotov flushes him. Fortunate for him, they hadn't swung, and now he's able to adjust for 2. Brilliant effort. Spam through the smoke, finds a third, and it leaves it to Travis. James is not close. Bomb's going to go down. And that might give James time to cook here, but a late push out K from B-Stick. This should be too much. B-Stick, now you've seen him. Took him a moment, but it is now all on to Travis. He's found the first. Need to play together, Sinners. If they swing him together, there should be no possibility here for Travis. And as he's forced into the temple, here comes that swing. Well done. Bomb diffused. Gap shrinks.
That's more like it. Credit to Peppo. Decent work from him. And a very, very slow round from PARIVISION. I guess we shouldn't be surprised. We're certainly in their wheelhouse. And as they collapse here, I mean, James is so far away. I'm surprised he didn't lurk more aggressively into mid or something. Because it really was an execute that could have done with a 5th player. Okay, round 6. And it's a ragtag buy for PARIVISION, that's for sure. They've used a lot of their util already for their default nades. Beltronic comes in towards the red room, just outside of it for now. And are we about to pop up B ramp? Here we go. Nope.
No. Unless.
I think they were going to walk up with the all posted, but now they need to rethink. It's always the same question on a round like this, is how do you bring that mid player into play? Because if you can get these CTs moving around, they can easily leave a gap for him to move.
Excuse me. I'd imagine if there was anything other than a Tech-9, Belchernok would have pushed already. But as it is, curbing some of his more aggressive tendencies. Going to be a big cave fight. I like the flash back in, but through the Molotov, Kickert's able to hold it. Able to hold the line.
Oh my.
Sneeze my way through this cast. It is a commanding kill for Travis, and now with that cave presence gone, you've still got this controlling towards mid. Belchernok's just been holding on to this. That means they're going to be able to adjust into the donut. Nice kill for Shock. This at least poses some problems, but as he swings into that op crosshair, this round is over, Alan.
Very well orchestrated round from PARIVISION. Sinners on the reverse did not have a fun time in towards either portion of the cave there, did they? Went for their kind of retake, aggressive sort of move. I think that one was kind of doomed. Always would have been traded. And then the molly does the job to find man number 2. A fairly clean round from PARIVISION. They're up to 4 now. The money is not good for Sinners. They're going to have a very difficult buy decision, assuming they keep both these guns going. If they lose another one, they definitely are not buying. But here, this is a really tough one because both of them can drop M4s. But util will be at a premium. There won't be much. I'm watching this AK for Morisco. He's the player pushing. He's in T spawn. The bomb is yet to move. Could really do with his teammates. Just, I know it's hard on pistols, but if they can just stay alive, even if they have to run, could open a window.
Shock. Able to clean up the one, but still a 1v2 required of them. It's doable.
They're going to be so scared as well clearing mid. Time is Shock's friend here. If he can guess the site correctly, this could be wild.
A clutch up now. He's heard the footsteps. He knows where he's going. Travis is counting on that, putting a Molotov in towards the elbow, but planting open for Donut. Shock didn't want to give up the information himself. But now with Travis able to withdraw, he's made no secret of where he's playing from. The problem is just Shock doesn't really have anything to play off of him. He does have a kit, though. I don't know if Travis is going to anticipate this. He's playing very far back. If this is just a stick, he might get it off. He's going to risk it. He's got the right idea. Travis is not moving. This bomb is going to be diffused right under his nose, and Travis never had a chance.
Oh my. That is painful. That is very painful if you're a PARIVISION fan. A 5v3, 2 of those being USPs. Actually, make that 5v2 briefly. Bomb gets flanked. We end up segregated. Belchonic is 5 meters ahead of his teammate there for no reason. When you know, I mean, you've just picked up the bomb and it's so likely that he's near there. It's not good enough. It's not good enough for a team looking to make the grand final of this tournament right now. And they need to have a very painful but important discussion in this pause. Because if it wasn't for James, this wouldn't be a close game right now. Only no. James heroics has given them this lead at the moment.
It does just feel so antithetical to what you would expect looking at this roster, looking at their experience, looking at what they do. The
it's
number
also
of
how they
situations.
play in some of the series, man. Like some of them, they're so disciplined.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because they're playing teams that don't, pressure them in certain ways or something. But I mean, how do we not have eyes at all on B there? How does it even happen?
Very odd. Very odd. Very odd indeed. Travis has been tasked with defending this B push this time around. Pepper could be in trouble. Nice shot from Kickert. Now they're cleared off 2 in towards mid. So see, this is the flip side of it, right? For PARIVISION, you have a boneheaded blunder. Okay, this might actually be a mystery. They've killed the B player. They've killed 2 players in towards middle. They're taking it towards A. That's actually still where Sinners can mount the defense. They need a hero. It's not going to be easy fights for Zedco. But he's not revealed his presence just yet. The fake plant to try and bait out this response. Now he's been seen. Kickert knows. playing it safe by the boxes. Tagged up. They know where both are now, and a couple kills come in rapidly as Mariska and Zedko reveal themselves effective. James trying to be patient on this flank, trying to catch Zedko off. But really what they're waiting for is Travis to come all the way from downtown on this one. He's coming up A main. James now on that first flank, and now Mariska. There's just too many angles. They're going to have him trapped in a triangle. Travis nearly makes a hash of that, but James will make sure that it goes the way of PARIVISION.
Still feels very nervy to me.
That was a 5v3.
Yeah.
They had full control of middle. Actually, it was a 5v2. Never mind. Because they took control of middle, then they killed the B-Lurk.
Yeah, it was two,
I don't know.
It was 2A.
I'm not sure why they're reading that and taking it A after the kill on the player B doors.
I guess the move would have been to let their B-Lurker walk up B ramp to get information. Oh my lord. And they know this is a weaker buy, and they've just decided we do not want to play a slow default. We're going straight in for this control, and I kind of like it. Press the issue, take command, 2 fast kills, and Sinners, given this is a double eco and they're forced into the first of these ecos, they should just save.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's not a ton to save for Zedko and Shock, so Shock might try and play for an exit, see if he can get a rifle to take out of this round, but the round certainly isn't in danger. That's a really nice response from PARIVISION.
Yeah. It's got to be said, the saving grace for PARIVISION this half is that they have found so many kills on every round that the money is just non-existent.
And they've almost always gotten the openers, right? It's been these advantage situations for Sinners that have, or for PARIVISION, right, that have gotten away from them, that have left us scratching our heads at times. But to get in that situation, they're so often in a 5v4 or 5v3, just off of the mid fight. And I think that's why they had this fast call, right? We've been stacking so many bodies into the mid fight. Well, now we just rock up B ramp, and if they're going for a stack somewhere, surely they're going to try and fight mid.
In their previous Ancient bouting, it was a very similar story where PARIVISION had no issues getting opening kills or map control. It was late round. Precisely where I wouldn't expect this team to be making so many mistakes. But, you know, as much as we lobby criticism against some of the rounds from PARIVISION in this game, they're the ones up 6-3 on the T side. It's another heavy eco from Sinners. PARIVISION keep this one clean. This half is shaping up very nicely for them, despite the carnage.
I mean, if you can win ugly, the win is the same.
Yep.
Beltranok's got so much control here. He's just waiting for his teammates to link up. He's like, guys, I've held this site for like 30 seconds now. Can someone come help me? Eventually, I'm going to lose. No, and never mind. I actually just dealt with the only rifle. Never mind. Keep coming, boys.
It's an interesting aspect when we hit the grand final, and I'm especially thinking of PARIVISION when I say this, is being a best of 5. Their map pool is going to be pushed a lot harder than it has in these series. They just played the same maps in almost every single game so far.
True. And of course, coming from the lower bracket, for whoever makes it through, they're down a map to begin with. Yeah. So it's not an easy path. You have to pull off 3 of 4 maps to get the dub.
Yeah, and also for those unaware, the way the veto works is essentially the decider map. The 5th map is the one that's defaulted, essentially, is how it works. So their opponents will have two prime picks of map picks. So they can pick right into whatever they see as a weakness for whichever of these sides they end up playing. I don't think we've seen that many lower bracket wins, you know, over the years. It's really hard to win.
It's tough. It's tough. There has been the occasional situation. Nice shot for James. Early pick on the cave player. B-Stick wanted to get aggressive.
Top spawn and went for it.
Why not?
Because you remember in the game last night, Mike, is that James had a nightmare start, didn't he?
He did.
To Ancient, and it is certainly the case that as that game grew on, his confidence grew. And by the end, he was a very different beast to be reckoned with.
I mean, he started out that first half with 2 kills, and one of them came in the final round. So, yeah, this is a little bit of a different game we're getting today. This is more of what we expect. Morisco, no chance. No chance. Not ever. So not only is there no chance in this round, there's no chance in the following. Really, it's going to be a force buy. Certainly, they've got the loss bonus for it now. Zedco, if he can save through 1 A1S, that's nice. But this has turned into an absolute curb stomping of Sinners.
They're in real trouble. That second round is going to haunt them. As is the Jame clutch. So there's 2 really key moments at the start of this half where on both occasions they could have had so much more economic control, but they've just had no money the entire time. And this final round and a half is going to be no different. It's going to be another very lackluster investment. One, of course, they have to go in for. And did Nota really pick up and second AWP off the ground? He's dropped it now. Glad of that.
Just keep an extra up for the bit. 4 MP9s.
Double window smoke. Red room. What's going on there?
Communication has seemed to be a little bit of a concern even when they're winning. Even when they're winning, it doesn't feel right.
In the first 3 seconds.
You know what they say. Smoke them if you got them. For whatever reason, PARIVISION are going off of what looked to be a fast A play. So now maybe they'll be wishing they had one of those smokes back at least. There's deep B control for Sinners as well. And actually, someone was trying to scoop some nades back in spawn, but I don't think there's been a smoke along with it. Sinners are backing off of this door control. 45 seconds. It could be a group and a hit, B ramp.
I'm watching Shock. He's just pushed mid.
It's a lot of info.
He could be a real problem. If his molly can stall, watch the flank.
There's no one in A main. Risk is going to start to get a move on, but the lead shot on the first. Zedco needs to buy time. He's buying a lot. He's buying kills left, right, and center. Zedco going above and beyond. And now the cavalry is here. The reinforcements are on deck. Belchinook, got to be careful about these sight lines. And Shaw coming through that ramp smoke might just be the final piece here. The backstab on. There's no time. There's no chance. There's no stick. There's no round. 4 at least for the Sinners. And we'll be right back. back into the server, and a final round for Sinners gave us some hope. But if we look back on the legacy of their last matchup, it was a 6-6 first half that then wound up in an overtime. So for Sinners, there's a bit more work cut out for them this time, Alan.
Seems like it. It is PARIVISION's pick. They'd at least want to make this competitive at a minimum. Of course, they did win it last time around, earlier in the week. What have we got here then? Pretty standard A take for this T side. It's just Belchonok on location. James is fairly near, and actually there's no util right now for CT. I think they know. Oh, they're just waiting. He's a dead man.
I'm going to be stuck down. A retake on, a fight in elbow, maybe to presage it. Noda somehow avoids dying on that one, so a little bit of an extended engagement. He's going to reroute, deal with Donut instead, though he still needs to count for that lurk. Lurk cleaned up, but now Noda needs to get into the round, actually. And he's running out of time to do so. They're going to get on the stick. Travis trying to bait out the response here. Noda now distracting, and since they've taken out A main, someone needs to get on that defuse. The smoke's going to fade. But Noda's continuing to do work to keep Mariska from being able to peek, and James can collect that final shot, so the defuse successful. PARIVISION move that much closer to a map win.
That's more like it. That was a well-coordinated retake. Good util usage. Good timings on how they progressed through the round. I think Belchonok did incredibly well to get a kill out of that scenario, because he looked dead to rights when he was spotted, and Nota 2 doing some good work. Probably been the biggest surprise of this team over this playoffs in terms of how they performed versus what we knew about them coming into this. And check out Shock. Good spawn. Takes all the space in mid. His teammates are ready to hit A real soon. It's going to be a fast split.
This is ridiculous control, though. James aware that it's a possibility? I mean, Noda coming back to it. I wonder if they're going to double clear this. Look at the rotation from Sinners. They don't want that fast A play. They're going right back into the middle. How do you route this now?
Smoke behind your teammate. I like it. Nobody baited just yet. And now the element of surprise is gone, because they'll definitely be scared of the red room. 1 for 1, but good damage and some information. Kicker in James the meanwhile towards Jaguar makes an information play, and they're completely surrounded, these T's. They have to battle their way out. Do find this kill in the back lanes of B, and they're escaping. Look at that. They slipped the net.
I did. Perfect timing on it. James came off as Travis was trying to get back into position to support that. He just gets caught on the swing. A little bit of a gap left. Kicker, though, trying to open up the possibility of this retake. He's low. So he'll fight with Noda so that he can bait for him. James still very far away from this in classic James fashion, and now with 2 players dead, James is not going to be going for this. He's 1 foot out the door. And so Sinners pull off what was done to them in the first. A force by success means that we've got a game on our hands.
Felt like a well-orchestrated round. Lowered space early. Essentially, they just sowed confusion. Even so, they had to win a duel there. They were completely surrounded when they were all in the red room. Only way out was frags, and they found the critical one on the back lanes of B. I believe that was on to Travis. So money is in a really bad spot, clearly, for PARIVISION. Now they've got to make the tough decisions over. Do you full force in this round? You're definitely doing some sort of eco. And I thought this might happen. It's it's like an old school, old economy double eco, where you don't even full force to ensure that your buy round in 2 rounds time is sufficient.
But think about how nice
because of the round
those nades are going to be.
Where is James?
Middle. Playing around the red room. Didn't work out so well last time, and now he's going to slink in towards B. Belchanel gone, looking for some information out A main. B-Stick just holding onto that periphery now. Now they could set up a little bit of a crossfire. Well, if James swung. But he won't, and so he'll die to the flames. And now pick your poison. You can head towards an empty A site, or you can head to a B site that is so fiercely defended with 1 P250 and a D-roll no armor. Kicker if he can get this gun at something.
I think I would have liked to see more of a plan with buying those smokes. You'd have thought they tried to funnel their opponents essentially into the rifle, but everyone just sort of played on their own island. So they didn't play out as planned. At least the rifle is recovered. But this is excellent for Sinners, and they'll know it's going to be another eco to come. Financially, they are booming.
Anyone else lives? Anyone else lives? So did they put anything around it in this round? Surely Kicker at least buys armor. Yes.
They need to do some damage. They can't afford to let Sinners have 2 completely clean rounds. That'll make it really tough to force ecos down the line. And where's the rifle this time? Kicker is B.
All right, I don't mind this. You might as well go for a stack. You've got so little to show in this. The Kicker wants to get aggressive with it, which is interesting. They don't really have the utility for this. He's just kind of dry swinging and making noise while doing so. Means that he does, in fact, get punished. And now that rifle is not in a very recoverable position unless they abandon B control. Travis is going to try. And he is going to succeed to get that A1S, but he's losing teammates in the meantime. Without armor, it's hard to imagine that it's going to make much of a difference. Zedka runs down the pistols. If they wanted, they could just go towards A at this point. But I think they've got some designs on taking this rifle out of play. Travis will punish 1. But 1 kill and a true punish are very different things, and they know they've got Travis backed up.
No risks either. The bomb's headed towards A. Whilst the others just contain. So it will be 7 for Sinners. They're making a great go of this map. Thought they're in big trouble when that first half started to slip. They themselves got reset, and James had an enormous clutch. But this game is starting to heat up again. They want to carry this Galil and the MAC-10 forward. I guess they will. Not too much of a bonus. And is there an AWP for James? It will be close. There is. And he stalls mid.
Notice already tagged down quite low. Trying to think this mid control did cost something in terms of health. And B main, meanwhile, is firmly in the grasp of Sinners. Actually ceding all that space in towards mid as well. For all they know, an elbow player has now just taken back all the sight lines. So there's not a lot for PARIVISION to work with here. James aggressive in towards middle, kind of. But that's the only forward position they've got.
Noted a dead man. Yeah. Just tried to solo take information. I somewhat see the idea, but it just wasn't necessary. And with such passive stances, surely PARIVISION aren't going to know a great deal until their opponents are already swarming a bomb site here.
This does feel like a situation, especially considering the lack of a kit, the lack of retake util, where you might just want to go for the gamble, put 4 players in a position. They're going to do it with 3. You'll still have Kicker here.
Bomb's headed over. Could still be alive left in this round just yet. Let's see if this
time to
fake.
bail out.
Let's see if the fake gets them moving or not. They should commit.
Oh, he's walking the smoke. He's walking the smoke, which means Kicker can get that, which means now they know exactly what's going on. There's only 10 seconds. Sinners have left themselves no margin for error with that bomb down. The round's over. Beastick never could do anything about this. That, I think, is Sinners trying to be a little bit too clever.
Feels like the timing is the problem. If they had, let's say, 25, maybe 30 more seconds, that looks so different because the player that grabs B just tells his teammates that I have the entire site, guys. Instead, he's forced to try and flank because of the time remaining. That was really awkward. Oh, a little bit too slow. Sinners played 75, 80% of that round so well. They still end up losing it.
How is Zedco on that? How is Zedco on that? Genuinely. Well, they're still going to be able to take the advantage here, our PARIVISION, but for Sinners, at least Zedco with that kill in towards the middle gives them a chance. He's taking a lot of room off of it as well. Wants to phase in towards Donut. They're pushing a smoke, and James is going to be all too happy to collect. Now, PARIVISION have misread this a little bit with the push through Donut. They've got no B presence. This could be a bomb plant for Sinners, but it'll be a tough position to hold on to.
Let's see how Nota plays this.
Do they clear cave? If they clear cave, he's back turned. Now he's come back on. And he's got the right idea, but it's damage, not a kill.
Doesn't need to fight this. Could have waited for his teammates. There is a kit on Travis, but now there's some jeopardy and a bit of time to establish some good afterplant positions.
James begging for that peek and straight in. Shot to the shin, that's plenty. A cleanup on the last, no doubt here in the retake. No hesitation. PARIVISION, make sure this one's going their way.
That's what we like to see. Seeing rounds here where they get into a tricky spot and then they recover, which didn't happen yesterday. Yesterday was, as soon as they're out in the deep end, it's absolute chaos. So credit to them for playing a cleaner brand of Counter-Strike today. No doubt James' form is playing quite a big part in the difference too. Given this was a map they lost only a matter of days ago up against Sinners, this is quite the performance.
So mid's been mostly left open, but as I say that, James coming back to hold court. If there's one guy you got to fear right now, that AWP of James has been very sharp today. Belchinox playing volleyball. But apart from this control in B main, there's not a lot for Sinners right now. If they threaten the cave setup, I mean, Travis, just to walk in. Mariska not ready to go with him. No chance for the trade. Travis is able to reset. It's a big missed opportunity for a punish.
And then throwing the A info, noticing nothing in towards Donut. They are very confident to load up this B side of the map. There are 4 in attendance for PARIVISION. If you count Belchonok in the back lines, he's the one now tasked with locking down mid, and they seem to be aware that a player could have crossed.
They were thinking about it, but they've moved off of the possibility. Still, it's not going to matter if these B defenders or B attackers rather do nothing. So it's really about Beppo. Maybe Shot can create a window for him if he gets this kill on Belchinock, but really it's just going to pull one player, and that's James.
I don't think there's time to do anything, is there?
No, and now they've swatted the bomb, so certainly not. James deals with the last, and it's Travis for the cleanup. Map point. Nice 3K for Travis.
Yeah, they really didn't expect his off angle there in towards Jaguar. It's looking good. There's the rebound. And you can see Zedco comes in, peaks the average line. and just doesn't expect someone to be playing an off position. So 12 for PARIVISION. 5 map points. Like, surely they can't let 5 map points on Ancient slip. That would be unbelievable.
That would be. Would never happen. Not to this team. Nice trade for Noda. It won't be happening to this team. Not this time. Surely not. Although, look at all the space that they've given on B. Look at this. They're playing so far back.
They have no information, so they're having to respect this could be all 3 out on A. Let's see what they grab. I'd actually really like a mid clear right now. That'd be great. They could just grab some information. They've got a lot of players around, and here it comes. So B is seeded. Let's see if they can get the info here and at least get somebody to lock down the back lanes on B before it's snatched.
A little late for that. Little late for that. Deep Molotov, I mean, just totally conceding this site. But the problem is, there's nothing to defend with. There's no utility. It's 2 MAC-10s, one of which is very wounded, and a Deagle. You gotta hold off these rifles.
They haven't got forever. They do need to go.
They do indeed. Couple of kits. Mariska getting aggressive. That's what Kicker was waiting for. Now that first domino falls. James holds the line. James can't win his fight.
It's a bad plan for this. They need to get moving, these two.
Smokes it down. Bomb's going to start to get stuck. Hope they know their lines. And they do not. Damage on, but it's the body blocking player, not the penetration required. 13-7. It's PARIVISION on top. The rematch on Ancient goes their way. No overtime required.
That looks a lot more comfortable than yesterday.
I
said the first map yesterday was very comfortable, but they look a lot cleaner. The first half, despite them winning 8-4, had its bizarre moments, but I think the second half we saw there on Ancient is some of the better CS I've seen them play in this playoffs. That looked more like the team that beat Navi Junior, for example. So better Counter-Strike. I liked Kickert's calling, and I thought Jane played a great map as well.
He did. He definitely did. Strong individual map. I think there was still some moments that gave us pause where it's the advantages lost for PARIVISION that it can definitely still be cleaned up to make us even more commanding. But the end of the day is when you're winning this comfortably while making visible mistakes for us, that's a pretty damn good map of Counter-Strike you put together.
Yeah, and I guess from a Sinner's perspective is, of course, won this map last time around. I remember when they picked Inferno last time in the series, we did question it, and it was a very chaotic map. So there's still jeopardy here. A 2-0 is not out of the question.
Definitely on the table. Definitely on the table. I think the one thing that you have to comfort yourself with is that it is PARIVISION's least played map apart from their perma in the last 3 months. So maybe you'll still be able to catch them a little uncomfortable in their spots. That's a big maybe. Sinners have their work cut out for them when we come back from this break.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.
Welcome back into the playoffs here. The consolidation final in this season of ESL Challenger League for season 49. Sinners down a map against PARIVISION and now watching their shot at the Pro League potentially go down the drain. But they will have a chance here on their own map pick of Inferno to bring us through to the full three. Alan, what do you make of this map?
I'm not sure. The thing about this map is it's potentially one of the worst maps for both of these teams, which sounds a bit brutal to say, but Sinners are not necessarily picking into a strength of theirs here. They're trying to pick into an opponent into a weakness of their opponents in PARIVISION. It did work the last time they played, but that was a very messy game. PARIVISION were making more mistakes than they did in this first map of this series. So obviously you can look at the results last time and say, okay, Sinners won it. We should be going to a third map, but I think that's a little bit flawed logic, because if you watch the games, PARIVISION looked like a much better team today than they did in that series.
Yeah, and I mean, again, even if you were assuming the same two teams stepped into the server, though no man can step into the same river twice, a 13-11 is far from conclusive. One round going the other way, and suddenly we could have had the reverse result. So I don't think Sinners are feeling terribly confident about this. And the same truth holds that we said on Ancient. It's tough to beat the same map or the same team in the same way on the same map twice. Everything changes. No two teams are the same as they were 2 days ago. So you better have some new game plans here, Sinners. Otherwise, it could be your Pro League dreams swirling the drain right now.
And the other thing that makes me fearful, and again plays into this narrative we're creating, that it could potentially have been an anomaly, the series they did have before, is that Sinners have won one series in their last 8. And that was their game against PARIVISION. They lost to Favbet, they lost to Zero Tenacity, they lost to Bait in the upper bracket of this tournament, Ruby, Sashi, Alliance, Sparta. There's a good handful of teams here that are not as good as PARIVISION. And Sinners might be in the top 3 of this tournament, but given the way we have a very spread out format, it doesn't necessarily mean they're in the best form. And remember, they skipped a lot of games, didn't they? Because they came into those upper bracket semi-finals. So they haven't had to play nearly as much Counter-Strike as a team like PARIVISION has either in the last few days. So I don't know, man. I'm starting to lean quite heavily towards PARIVISION. Of course, we said that yesterday and it was a very chaotic affair, but today I think Sinners are in trouble.
So you think like 50, 60 rounds of Counter-Strike to find out?
I hope not. For the sake of my sanity.
Hey, look, you're the one invoking yesterday. So we might be getting there. We might be getting there. I mean, look, the win conditions, if we're talking about them for PARIVISION, are looking good. James, incredibly sharp. Didn't need that warm-up period here. He started off the bat very sharp. Travis had a strong impact as well. And frankly, when we've been looking at who's been fueling them through earlier series, it's been Noda and Belchanok, who both had their own impact rounds. But if Travis and James are also firing here, it just looks very good for PARIVISION.
It does, and for Sinners, if there's a criticism you would lobby against their team on paper, is that it's not immediately obvious who the star players here are, and certainly not in the way that you can look at PARIVISION. And I think it's a very fair assessment to say that PARIVISION have better individual players. I don't think you can make a case to the opposite. But it's got to be as a team they're going to win this. It might take some PARIVISION mistakes equally to win this map, but that is possible. Absolutely possible.
Here comes the execute. Noda holding the line here. And Kicker will be traded out. Bought this quick flank from Travis. He slipped into the smoke and slipped back into the flank. Hasn't quite gotten them the kills they were looking for. So there will be a retake, but advantage for the moment on the Sinners. And James is hoping someone comes looking for him. He will have to be the one to make the first move, though. With Zedko out of tree, this feels so strong. If he just looks left, yeah. Spotted the player getting in towards pool. Should have the next. Makes a hash of that, but still, time is running out. There's just no chance at actually winning this round.
I'd be a bit disappointed with that defense, I think, with PARIVISION. Given that they got off the smoke, they had a pair of Julies on oranges. Just couldn't get a lot done. Kind of bizarre as well that the CTs and the Ts kind of exchanged positions where CTs gave the site. They're the ones playing from banana. And certainly you're right, as soon as a player got in towards tree, and there was another one pushing ruins at the same time, it was a certainty that Sinners were going to have a very strong after plant position, whatever happened. It's a good round for them. It's going to be a 4 in response for PARIVISION. We're yet to see a pistol round converted in this series, so keep tabs on that counter. Plenty of smokes to play with here, PARIVISION. They'll love to save those if they can and cause ruckus at the end of the round.
Love a bit of the ruckus. Seems like Sinners are going to be pretty up-tempo, though, so saving them, maybe not. Ruckus? Still on the menu. Smoke deployed, kill found. That's very nice. The guns actually drop forward as well, so that can be an upgrade. Eventually to be retrieved.
I'm already a bit nervous here for Sinners. Do PARIVISION go for a bit of a lean? Look at this. 2 players are snaking their way into CT right now. And
timely smoke.
Very timely smoke to allow that rotation as well. This could be a masterclass if they pull off this stack and read it right.
Time is going to become an issue in and of itself. I mean, Kickert's got another smoke. They've got 1 flashbang, 1 smoke, 1 Molotov on the center side. You don't have a second element. They're going to commit to A.
And there's nobody apps, and Travis is in boiler.
James bailing. Noda's leaving. No. What have they seen? They've seen
Travis
nothing.
Is boiler. It's because Travis has apps. He thinks there's nobody here, and it's the wrong read.
Disaster. Counter-Strike is a game of information, and yes, even with the stack, maybe they would have lost to the superior weaponry, but disassembling it, bailing on the defensive site at the exact wrong moment. Sinners capitalize.
I don't think I can blame them, Mike. I don't dislike how they played that round. They get their opener. They start blocking B with nades. They lean A. Travis takes apartments and sees nothing. Kickert uses his smoke on B. And they try to use that window to get back in time. It does make sense. The flow chart is there. But unfortunately, the silent walk into mid from Sinners was potentially the one thing that could have foiled the defense. So maybe some fortune there for them. And they stay alive for now. This eco will be a lot less than the previous round presented.
Yeah.
But still a little bit. Saves, a couple upgraded pistols, a few smokes again in the mix, which did cause a lot of problems for Sinners in the previous, so still some work to do to navigate this one.
Quick deek shot would have made a world of difference, but right now it's just Belchanok alone. So he doesn't want to put too much skin in the game there. Doesn't want to give away his isolated presence. So by not fighting, he's actually done quite a service. Because now they're headed back towards all of his teammates. Kicker revealed, has the 1. Smoke trying to come through. Nades are going to chase down Kicker, do heavy damage onto Jane as well. And Jane, third HE,
don't need to
gone.
do this. They don't need to commit to this bomb site. And I think Zedco there, you could kind of see the moment, couldn't you, where he thought better of trying to press the issue. They don't have anybody elsewhere. So that's why they're a little bit nervy of rerouting. Smoke is very timely. And there is a HE actually on Zedco. And a wrong read for PARIVISION should ensure that this round is going to go the way of Sinners.
Bomb to be planted.
Bomb has been planted.
Suppose Noda's MP9 is worth holding on to. Allow you to put more utility into the next round, but really they are looking for exits. 3-0 start here. It's clean. Alan, they've got some rounds to operate with now.
Felt like this one really could swing badly after Kickert found the opener, but a good recovery, calm round from Sinners when they needed one. And this will do wonders in terms of banking up some cash. That said, they're carrying through a lot of lesser weaponry. 3 Galils, 1 MP9.
True.
Shouldn't change much of how they play the following round, but it's far from an advantage.
James gonna have an op. That's a difference maker. Rifles up. Lack of a kit. Would love to see Kicker buy it. Chooses not to, so I suppose keep an eye on that if we get towards a retake.
So what do we got? Very passive start to the round from Sinners. They are perfectly content to give away banana. Of course, we know the PARIVISION hasn't really taken it. It's just some aggressive util that hasn't come to much. Now Sinners go in for their clear. Taking their time. Now the util comes in for top banana. And PARIVISION, despite having absolutely zero information, are confident enough to stay 3B into this round. You can see on the minimap actually now James is starting to re-clear brackets. Smoke line's just in front of him. It's not easy here for PARIVISION. They're really in the dark. They've just got to guess.
Bolshanox, does he have any vision? He's a little exposed. They're going to be able to see him playing that far forward on the flower pots, and he's got no vision of his own, so he has to fall off. But his teammates, well, they've done plenty of work for him. He doesn't even get anything. But it still may not much matter. Zedko has to win this duel. He can't do so. The bombs drop. Shock is so far away. He doesn't have time. Alan, he just doesn't have time.
Yeah, Noto should just run into banana now.
They'll take the fight.
Juicy, 4K for him. And, you know, potentially actually in every round so far this half, PARIVISION have stacked a site without massive information. And finally, they get it right. That said, as this half develops, I don't take issue with how they're playing these rounds. It's more of a question of can they get a little bit more crafty with finding information in the mid-round, because it would be nice to have more knowledge before committing to these stacks.
Certainly. Aggression here, utility on. Note of that smoke pop. Oh, that's so bold. I kind of love it. That is so bold. And they're rewarded with the kill. The most pleasant surprise of playoffs here. Noda continues to delight.
He's a great find. He also seems quite well suited to playing aggressive. And actually, he's on a team with quite a few passive players. So that juxtaposition is nice. It's a nice addition to this team.
It's kind of him and Belchanok making space, taking ground, getting information. Interesting to me that PARIVISION, my brain keeps wanting to do that. That
I always
PARIVISION
think about saying that.
Do not want to hold on to control at banana. Doesn't mean that they can't play with the stack here. It's 3 players.
I don't think, yeah, they're not too nervous. They've got so much util on B. They're kind of confident that alone will help them hold. I think James should commit A, and he is. Oh, look at the banana push. That is brutal. 4 in defense now on A. 20 seconds to go. This should be impossible.
That's going to be brutal. It is going to be brutal. Peeking out ahead of the smoke. That's perfect timing there for Kicker.
Watch the clock.
Very nice find. They're rotating. Oh, do they have time? I think just. Shock's trying to hit a B-hop. Not hard, easy to do in this game. But yeah, he's got enough time. And look at this. PARIVISION have been totally bamboozled. That maneuver from Mariska means that they know there's no rotation, and they can't believe their luck. It's going to be a retake, but it's going to be so much time before PARIVISION are even in place to do this.
What have we got?
What a
Two
call.
flashes. Is there a kit here in Banana on the body of Nota? Doesn't look like it. They need to go. These flashes need to be good. No time to waste. 20 seconds left. It's over. They don't have time.
That's brutal. That's brutal. Looked like such a good setup. Looked like such a good rebuff. They had all the numbers in the right place. But Sinners kept their awareness, didn't panic, kept their nerve.
Terrorists win.
Nota learned a hard lesson there. He's just learned, and I'm sure Dadstan or James or Kickit will point it out quite brutally in the demo review that in a 5v4, where we know it's A and we've got 4 there, you don't need to take any more risks as that B player. You've already cleared Banana. You've given us everything. Wait 5 more seconds, and it would have been perfect. This is tough for PARIVISION. And their money is right on the brink. I think they're going to go into this.
Looks like it. I mean, they're assembling utility around it. James, what is he going to put in behind this MP9? That's the only question remaining. How much does he try and keep for an alt?
Seems he's already thinking about the long game.
Always. Never not. One eye to the present, one eye to the future. Always for James. You got a pretty decent haul of nades, but you're not going to want to go into the classic sustained banana control battle. So they are going to concede some space to Sinners early. Noda wants to play close up, with Kickert supporting. All of apartments has been conceded. Shock has a lot of room to rumble.
Silver lining here for PARIVISION is that they have kept the money extremely honest. So if they can chain a couple rounds together, this half is far from a done deal.
This crossfire could be huge. You got James, you got Belchanok on the far corner. On the smoke fade, they want to test this. Nade for the pop. So now they're going to be focused on the library play, and that's exactly what they want. Here comes the fade. James got one. Does he have the second? No. Trade is there. So maybe a bit more trigger discipline needed for James, but we didn't see. It might have turned on him, but Noda can hold the line. Now these two teams are so isolated. They have to operate as individual units. They can't play off of each other. There's 30 seconds for them to try and regroup. But Travis, looking to buy time, swinging about the safe boxes, will win his fight and leave Peppo alone.
Save. That's the decision. Nota's an absolute hero. He's made one mistake this map. Everything else has been near flawless. What a hold. I can't believe he got the second. Hope we see the replay of that, because it was slippery, slimy stuff.
Huge. Huge. Really did feel like James might have been the finishing piece there, but only 1 for 1 left. The door open, and Noda slammed it closed. Now they have to build. Now they have to build here, Alan. That's the big question. Can they put some money in their pockets?
But a tremendous opportunity. Look at the investment from Sinners. This is because they have no loss bonus. 4 Deagles. Only a handful of util between the whole team here. Really hard work on a map like Inferno to default without those nades. And even traversing James here with this AWP. That's not going to be easy whatsoever. They're going to push through this deep banana smoke, and that is the big gun on the deck. It can be recovered. They somewhat lost the element of surprise now. Belchonok here. It's a couple men to face him, but a timely smoke. Some cavalry here as well. Should ensure this doesn't get out of hand.
Looks like they're going to take it back towards B.
Why are
with
we
these players
leaning
still top banana.
4A in this round?
They're confident in James.
Could be the opposite. Could be lack of confidence in A.
Notice starting to come back. Here comes the motion. Oh, that one's a tag, not a frag. And now there's another up post on the line. James knows he can't re-peek. Oh, boy. Notice here. But Belchonok compromised. Only 25 seconds to try and cross this without a smoke. They need the op to do work. And without armor, it's got to be an instant shot or nothing. Shock will find that instant shot. Meanwhile, the flank is creeping closer. Kickert's going to come through on Banana. Takes out one. Can't deny the bomb plant. But they can quickly clean up the defenders. So, a defuse on.
Yeah.
PARIVISION with the retake.
I mean, it looks a bit scrappy, but at the end of the day, that was everything invested from Sinners. So the round win is all that really matters there for PARIVISION. Now it will be presumably a lesser buy. I don't think Sinners will be enticed into investing again. Okay, well, half seems to be quickly recovering for this CT side. Big man Belchonok yet to get on the board. The pistols come his way. Get his chance.
Oh, boy. That's a lot of bodies.
I guess that counts.
That's a lot of bodies. It does count, but now they're in a lot of trouble.
There's no CTs A.
Nope. Bomb plant. James tagged. James dinked. Put them on notice. Put them on notice.
Oh my God.
The P250, how's it doing this work? How is it doing so much? What on earth has happened here? Now Pepple's got a gun. Pepple's got a gun. They haven't cleared him. And it all falls to James, who's got no health. He's going to save. This was pistols. There was no armor, Alan. How? How have they done this?
I can't believe it. The decision making from PARIVISION. Why are we playing 3B? The only explanation I can come up with is that they thought the Sinners might be enticed into forcing again. Because they knew the money. They knew the situation. Why are we bothering to send free to take Banana? Playing solo on Porch and... What is happening? Unforgivable.
Yeah, that's abysmal. That is abysmal. That is, I mean, it's Glocks, a P250, just unreasonable. That's the kind of round loss that you get tilted at in a matchmaking game. This is the ECL consolidation final.
Yeah. I wonder if, Travis, Belchonok not having their best games. I wonder if, communication-wise, they weren't really talking. Because I don't really understand, given that they should have known roughly what the investment was, why we're playing each man into himself.
Well, they got the stack in the right place this time. We've seen Sinners go for some late rotations on this map. Plenty. They could do it again. But if they don't...
I don't know what that smoke towards long is meant to be, but it's gone wrong.
There's a library smoke. That just funnels James a little closer into the angle. Now a smoke onto the balcony, and they're committing. 35 seconds. The smoke on the balcony, they might think it's just one lonely pit player trying to stall. But it's anything but. There's lots of bodies here. Shock is going to get an entry, but they need a whole lot more. And now Kickert activates from the mini pit. They've realized they're in the killing field. They're right in the sight lines, and the bodies are dropping thick and fast. A bailout from Zedko. But he's not winning this. He's not winning this. He's just going to try the save. He'll creep back in. There's no time for this plant. There's just not enough. But slipping the gap, he'll be able to save the gun at the very least. Still, that is a blessing for PARIVISION. They fumbled so hard in the prior to get back on, to have the stack in the right place here, to have the gamble pay off. Gives them a new lease on this map.
I wonder if Sinners are clocking on yet that PARIVISION are playing either 4A or 3B every round. And they're not scared to risk it like that. They're not scared to leave a sole player with some util and tell him, you know, burn this whilst we stack elsewhere. If they can start to understand this defense, they can exploit it a lot. Just imagine what a fake would do to PARIVISION with these stacks. It would cause chaos. But that is a big question of whether they're starting to work this out. No pauses, so they have figured it would have had to be discussed very quickly. Mid pop here. Bomb is nowhere near. They go looking on short, but without the bomb around, maybe with the kill they get enticed, but a little bit too far out to commit here.
Belchenok is just not having a good day on Inferno, is he? Ooh, James getting aggressive. This could be interesting. If they come waterfalling out of balcony, it has to be Travis to hold the line. He gets 2. Should be, could be enough. Now James reroutes. He's been spotted, but he's got the support from Library. That drops the bomb on down as well. There's still some risk from Zedko coming in late, but time's becoming an issue, and at this point, the reinforcements are here for PARIVISION. Good awareness from James. Believe they know where B-Stick is. They'll give him the chance to get the plant in order to make sure they can bring it through in the retake. He's so blind right now. But slips back into the pit. Does James realize he's gone off the site? It was a risk. It was a risk to get deep pit here, and when did they put this together? When does B-Stick strike? Oh boy. Can't finish it. Eventually gets it with the Galil, but there's the cleanup from Kicker. And just enough time for that defuse.
There was a kit there if it came to it. Anyway, yeah, Belchenok is having a bit of a shocker. It's making it really tough for them to hold A. I'm surprised, because at some point, you know, if it's really not going, and it hasn't been a great game either for Travis, to be honest, at some point, you'd have thought they might just get pragmatic and say, let's just play simple CS. Let's play together, double pit, like a double balcony sort of setup is great, because if you're not feeling it mechanically, do something a bit funky where it's not necessarily going to be the deciding factor. If you're going to bait a player in or something. Or play double site or whatever, anything. I'm surprised how individually they're playing. I would have thought the response would be more teamwork rather than less. This one, though, looks good. Check out the lean as well. James has been on it with making good reads on the CT side. Right place, right time yet again. Just needs his teammates to hold on, and they don't hold on very long, do they? No. 1 M4 scoop. Let's get this bomb down. Only 1 piece of armor, but this could still get spicy yet.
We're kind of native if they don't have any HEs. If they had any HEs, they could just pelt this site. With mollies, they can still force players out. Still have a pretty good idea of where they're playing from. There's the first. Trying to force out the swing. There it is. James can collect. Now, Dink confirms another. Mariska's position could catch them off guard. Does Belchenok clear it? Now he's dropped down. Belchenok's ready. And just like that, comfortable in the retake. It always should have been. But you do get nervous when it's even numbers on site, even when those numbers don't have armor.
Yeah. Let's give PARIVISION credit, though, because this half looked really scary at times. And
yes.
They're now in the lead. They're looking much more comfortable. I think that B side of the map has been brilliant this half. I mean, really, I'm not surprised the Sinners aren't going B very often anymore, especially on the gun rounds, because Note has been fantastic. Kicker's been great. I think James had a good half too. Obviously, the A players are struggling a little bit, but some big weight being pulled elsewhere. Last round of the half.
It's reminiscent of some of what we were saying on Ancient 2, which was that there were still mistakes for PARIVISION. There were still rounds that they lose that should be unlosable, but the weight of it is they're playing better CS. This time, maybe not. Zedco holds the line. He found a gap in between those two Molotovs that PARIVISION must have thought was impossible. And now you're going to need someone to be a hero.
Feels good as well to kill the heavy hitters. So to kick it have been fabulous. And Belchonok.
That's a nice nade.
Does have Travis for help. Travis can do a little bit more to distract. That would be great, but no. Belchonok is cleared. He is gone. Travis is in a lot of trouble. Out in the open. Finds one, but that is not nearly enough. And we are set for 6 apiece. As James holds Arch.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he even going to go for this? It's the last round, James.
I guess he thinks there's a lurker because there's a long smoke, but you'd be wrong, brother.
He's really convinced. I mean, there's no chance, but you might as well give it a look. It's not giving it a very speedy look, though. I think you've missed your window here, James. It may have been slim, but now it is none. And those exit kills will not matter a jot because it's time to swap sides. Live on into the second half here. It's even as can be. A full even split, and considering for Sinners, they won some shocking rounds that they will need to make sure to keep this one a little bit more traditional. I like this boldness in the pistol. They've already dropped the bomb. They've dropped 2 players on island. They're continuing to try and brawl out of the apartments. At this point, some teams would pull the plug and back away. It seems like that may be exactly what Sinners are going to do.
Okay, well, there is still good util here for PARIVISION. And it is only Zedco on this side of the map. He deploys his smoke. And don't tell me he's 4 stacking A in a man advantage. What's happened to the rulebook today, Mike? It's been burnt.
Yeah, they've been doing some weird things. But it does mean that a bomb plant's going to go in for Perry, and we're going to get a retake. No kit. B-Stick's just been tagged on smoke spam. So he's down to 14.
Look at the reroute from him. All the way back.
Yeah, actually, I think I'll stick with the pack, guys. It's scary when I'm alone. Travis, looking to be the monster around this corner, but Zedco, bit of a monster slayer himself, and just like that, the retake is a success.
Port and pistol for Sinners to set the tone. Of course, they'll need to convert in the second round to keep us feeling confident. Do PARIVISION feel like a force buy? They might just eco to rifles in the following. Kicker has bought armor, but of course in the modern day you could sell that, so not a guarantee just yet. And that second mid aggression did pay pretty good dividends, so good call, good proactive play. We like to see that. They're playing to win. And it is indeed a force buy. 2 Galils, Tech-9s to round it out. A lot of utility for this T side. They've got options. How is he alive? He just walked into a mid-stack.
No idea. No idea. They just didn't pull the trigger. He realized what he had and he bailed. Why don't they just stick to it? They're kind of just sticking to it. Smoke's up. And PARIVISION are coming their way. And it's going to work. That's curious.
What is this util? Missed arch smoke. No mollies. No flashes. You know they were mid-stacking. They do some perplexing stuff, man.
Only thing I can think of, which hold on, I'll hold that thinking because you're absolutely right. These miss smokes, even if they hadn't been fading, would have presented some opportunities. Okay, this round's over. The only thing I can think of is that you're trying to gigabrain it, saying that we saw their mid stack, so they're going to disassemble the mid stack and move the stack towards B. But come on, man,
There's a lot of ifs in there.
Could also be what you were looking at in the first half, where it just does feel like the communication has dropped. And in particular, it was, if I'm not mistaken, Belchanok who poked his nose out mid. He's been having a really rough one. And sometimes for certain players, if they're not feeling it as individuals, they can clam up quite a bit.
Quick pause. Somewhat surprised PARIVISION aren't starting to use their tack pauses, because this is getting a little bit scary now. Pistol armor in this round. They are buying quite a lot. If they don't get a plant, it will hamper their investment in the following. I mean, Travis only has 900 in the bank. So they need to get a plant out of this. Aggressive B stance from this T side. Belchonok. Great shot from him, and they're going to chase. Nope. Smoke denies. Falling back now. In the meanwhile, James is taking brackets.
They're giving it to him. He's got all this room. Papa's going to come back into Arch, but... well, he's Not going to quite have that kill. James gets away somehow.
James might pull the
Untagged.
rotator too. Marisco's very close to rotating.
Thinking about it. Thinking about it. Zedko's in transition. Zedko's in transition. Oh, he just slips back behind the coffins. That could have been huge. Smoke's down. That could have been catastrophic. It still might be. They've gained the site. They gained the purchase. A bomb plant feels inevitable. And indeed it is. And now a retake's required. And the gun disadvantage does slip away. Well, Peppo getting 1 kill. Now attempted boost over the smoke is costly. But keeping the numbers in their advantage are sinners. James hasn't been able to get his hands on a gun. Nice preemptive peek. Slide in towards new box. No utility to force him out either. That's just going to fall to James, who needs to pull this player off of the defuse. He's dancing with the man on the cross. And Shock eventually will lead that dance to its conclusion.
It's a decent try. I'll give him credit for that. Still, I can't help feeling the moment that stands out for me in that round is when they get onto the site and it takes them, this is PARIVISION that is, so long to face Ruins, kind of the deeper line. Old school Virtus Pro would have communicated really fast that we're just going to double peek. And we're gonna get this. We're gonna take, maybe even take Ruins or get towards back site. But they were so hesitant, so indecisive for a team that at least a lot of the players on this team are very well known for being decisive and having excellent communication in those situations. Just lacking that spark at the moment. This isn't over yet.
Far from it.
But a borderline must-win round at this point.
Ah, you're forgetting who this is. Procrastination is the watchword. Look at this aggression. Shock's still down mid. He's very tagged up. But he's still here, and he is going to catch James. I don't think he's going to survive. But at least he takes James out of play. James opted for that AWP as well, so that's going to be expensive loss, and I don't think one of his teammates is going to want to bring that through. Zedko tagged. Zedko fragged. Belchadonk was not letting him get away with that one.
Thank God he jumped after the kill. That could have been ugly. Okay, brakes applied. Sinner should 100% stack both their players on one site. They don't have the money to actually throw these guns away for nothing.
They're not going to listen to you, though. They will instead isolate.
Just feels like a losing strategy. So well and good, this util, but unless Marisco makes a move, all it does is just deny a bit of time.
We're going to go back in towards A. Let's see what Marisco can do. Knives out. Oh, okay, nice jumps coming through from Belchadonk. Stalls him out, drains his bullets, means that there's just not going to be a chance here. Bomb will go down. Beastic's never going to give this a look. For PARIVISION, they can even reclaim the op if they'd like, since it's dead on the middle, on the brackets. And this is how it begins, Alan.
It is. And the viewers will see why I called out they should be stacking a site in a moment. Because their money is going to be right on the brink of full investing or taking another eco. It's going to be quite a tough decision. I think they're going to buy.
Yeah, Beastic can drop a gun. Shock and Mariska have money. Somebody's going to be on an MP9. But it's going to be all right.
Terrorists win.
I'd love a pause from PARIVISION now. This round is so big for them. It's only 1900 loss bonus for Sinners. We're expecting a full investment. They'll have no money in reserve at all. There's absolutely scope to to get on even terms. They can win this round. It's Sinners that take the pause as they're realizing the flip side of that coin. They can't really afford to lose this round. And there are some sacrifices. Shock. Oh, it's okay. I think Shock dropped 2 M4s, did he? I guess he did, because he has no nades.
Must have dropped it over to Zedko. And ball one himself. See if they can make it work. Here's where the money runs out. Here's exactly where PARIVISION wants you. Right on the precipice. And now they can just come in and give you one little push. Over into economic ruin. Pepo. I might be getting his chance right now.
Did Shock? I think Shock saw him.
He's got to have, right? Perhaps. Nice engagement here. Zedko has to burn his smoke. Nobody's actually peeking on that. They're drawing out lots of utility. And Sinners do not have much utility to spare. They have no more smokes.
Yeah, this feels pretty good for PARIVISION. I think also showing that presence in towards apps pulled the third B player off for Sinners. They're actually going to start leaning 4 potentially B stickers in towards CT spawn. So this is somewhat the reverse of what we saw in that first half, wasn't it? Similar sort of deal. And nope. Pepo is going to be a dead man. 2 HP!
Surprised
that is not a fun family barbecue.
I don't know what Pepo tastes like. I guess if his name was Peppa, it'd be pork. Zedko! Looking to hold the line. There is a bit of a gap on that smoke, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, there is. But he wasn't quite quick enough on that trigger. Now the bomb is down. And being as they have no nades, this could be the rare situation where we see a 5-on-5 save.
I think they will. I think, I mean, they will now, but it looked like they're already gearing up for the save. You do not see this often.
No.
And how hungry are PARIVISION? All that talk of pork.
Well, they've already thrown Pepo on the barbecue.
Peppa Pig is my niece's favorite thing in the world, so I take offense to this conversation. She has a Peppa Pig bed.
Bed?
Yeah.
Like just the blankets, or is shaped like Peppa Pig?
No. The structure of the bed. It's like a the bottom level is like a single bed, but above it is like a Peppa Pig kind of hut sort of arrangement.
Is she? Huh. So it's just Peppa Pig themed, or is it literally shaped like a Peppa Pig character?
No, it's shaped like a house, but it's Peppa Pig.
It's Peppa Pig's house.
Decoration.
Understood. Okay. Interesting.
Did you know there is a new sibling in Peppa Pig?
I can't say that I've been kept informed of these developments, but I'm not surprised that you know. Oh my goodness, Zedko. Oh my goodness, they needed something. They opted to go for the eco here, Alan, which is crazy. Nades. They have no nades, but if they were going to get it, this is how they were going to do it. Could have put together a pretty dang good buy here. But if they can win it without the nades, all the better. Zedko's gone. He's done his work. He's given his team a chance, and they've got the numbers on the right site. Belchanok trying to take some space. There's a player in library. There's 2 on the site proper. One of them's just that unarmored P250. Boy. He's rumbled 1. He's rumbled the 2nd. They know they're here. Travis starting to clear them out. The player coming out the library. Smoke. Wow. And it is destruction. Well done from Travis. Belchanok just the foil to create some space for Travis to come through and seal the deal on the round.
That was excellent from PARIVISION. That's what I expect to see. That's what I expect to see from some of these players. Great round from Travis. It has really not been his best map, but that was... I mean, they were potentially the highest impact kills of the map so far, because they're about to lose to a team echoing around saved guns. And somehow they come out of it. Despite, I mean, there was 3-on-5 to 3v1 now. Keep all the players alive. Huge stuff. And Zedko's got to be looking at his teammates saying, what more could you possibly want?
Yeah. I put this up for you. I served it on a silver platter. Committed myself into a fight. Couldn't get it over the line. But this is what they were saving for, Alan. This is what they were preparing for. They want all the nades. It is Inferno. The nades matter so very much. So they've got nades. They've got the op. They've got all the pieces they could want. Maybe it's not perfect, but it's pretty dang close. And now your op is gone.
Yes.
Erased.
There goes your pieces.
James getting aggressive. He just wants the space. He's gobbling up this territory. Mariska's tucked. So if he wants it, he shall have it. Brackets is there for PARIVISION.
Look at the smoke push from Mariska.
Oh boy, he might catch James. James setting up nades. James setting up util. James backing away. And that is a huge coup because it confirms that nobody else was close as well. So it's going to stall out PARIVISION. With this control top banana, with the information that Mariska has now gotten.
This is very Virtus Pro. Silent walk, take space back. Now they're spotted, but they've gained so much ground. And the rotators for B are nowhere near. That is a timely kill for Mariska. What a round he's having. Still, though, this could crumble instantly because the B players are in a... They're a non-factor right now in terms of this A hit.
They have to be worried about the Raptor spawn themselves. And so that means they cannot support. And so bit by bit, the defenders are stolen.
Move? I'm so confused.
I think they were just fully convinced that it was a Raptor Arch. Whatever it is now, they won't move. They'll save. PARIVISION pull into the lead. 10 rounds on the board.
Yeah. I mean... Maybe they should have given... A common thing to do is to give B and play into CT in that sort of position. The sites were just so segregated. And equally, they needed to do something. Maybe they should have double pushed port side or something with these two A players. They just left way too much ground on the table. But I will give Kicker, and we are presuming Kicker is calling for this team and not Jame, if you're unaware. What a call to walk back into where Jame died. Kind of guessing that Sinners trying to play their own chess game will be stacking B and leaving that point open. It was a really excellent read. Sinners just keep buying. These saves and, of course, the racking up loss bonus has just kept these buys flying in.
Yeah. But there's always some flaw. There's always some issue. It's the nature of trying to sustain a CT economy, right? Yes, you can keep the buy going, but it's never perfect. This time it's a FAMAS, it's an MP9, it's some limits to the utility. Just the brutal reality of a defender in Counter-Strike 2. Short relatable experience to anyone who's been doing the grocery shopping for their household recently. At least on my end.
It's not so bad over here.
They took our eggs. They took our eggs, Alan.
Apparently we're going to buy all of your beef, I've heard.
You know, just a deal in the history of deals. B-Stick is going to sell all of his bullets straight into the skulls of his opponents, and his crossfire has shut down the attack. PARIVISION are locked out of here, desperately trying to find some sort of an inroads, but now all the defenders are here. And Jame is left to slink away. 25 seconds with which to try and save this AWP. And Peppo on the line. Might not be letting him slip away. Unless he misses. In which case he will in fact slip away, Alan. He has slipped.
He has.
Counter-terrorists win.
Huge round from B-Stick. What a hold. Completely blunts the offense. There's no chance of making that work. We'll see here on the replay. They're trying to get explosive, but B-Stick with that tight angle doesn't get flashed. Does a great job. Third timeout dispensed from PARIVISION. Starting to recognize the gravity of the situation.
They got all they could want in this round, certainly. Even with some careful financial management and a bomb plant, we'll be able to sustain into the next, but this is the moment. You had them right where you wanted them. And now, Alan, dare I say it? Starting to smell a little bit like overtime.
That we've left Peppa Pig on for too long. Okay. 4-man bracket stack for Sinners. They've just fended off a pretty early B hit, so you can see the logic. PARIVISION will not hit B early again. They're probably correct in that assumption. That said, there is no brackets clear for the moment. Banana prioritized here by PARIVISION. They'll have to do something towards brackets at some point. But this pressure alone has pulled the bracket stack out of play. Incredibly slow from PARIVISION. The best rounds of this half are the ones that are taking a lot of control and then winning in the rotational game. But no, they're going to go back for a heavy B hit.
Here comes that hit. Here it comes. And Zedko this time receives. Yeah, he doesn't have the crossfires from Spawn, but he's a capable defender. It sprays down 3. Belchanok overexposed. That flashbang prevents early disaster, but only delays it for a moment. Went right back into that B play and right back into the blender.
Flash was brutal to the first man. Third kill from Zedko essentially seals the deal. And that is a critical round for Sinners. Now they have money in reserve. Now they have the round lead. Now PARIVISION has nothing in the bank.
And that's exactly where PARIVISION want them. Starting to feel comfortable. Oh, they want to go for mid-aggression. They want to go for mid-aggression. This would be spicy. 4 players here early. They're thinking about it. But this quad setup, if Travis peeks into it, I mean, surely. They're boosting up Jame, committing in the Molotov. Nice damage. Rubbles the setup of what PARIVISION wanted to bring through. But look at what Sinners are doing on B. They've given the site in order to go for this aggressive stack on A. And
it's a very quick decision to come back from Banana, so I question whether Jame here does have a semi-good read that he is not particularly well defended. So slow from PARIVISION. Come on, guys. Got to get some control. We're not making our opponents at all uncomfortable. 50 seconds remain. What do we got? 3 smokes. So certainly can use a little bit for map control before making a move. They're so indecisive, Mike. I can't... It feels very strange to see these players play like this.
it does.
They're clearly working so much out on the fly.
They're pulling a rotator. So all this utility is being dumped in towards B, but it does mean that it's not going to be available for this A take, and they just pulled B stick, but he was hesitating. He was hesitating. Oh, they've managed to get numbers over. B-Stick realizes he's been rumbled. He's thinking about it. Why haven't they actually gone through? Why haven't they actually gone through? Well, that's why. Belchenok on. Noda in. Oh, boy, shock. You've been defused. The bomb will be planted, and this is just not viable. Even with the money that they've banked, Sinners can't risk it here. We are going the distance. At a minimum, we are getting all 24.
They made us wait, but it was an excellent call. That is how you punish a team for having no info on B. They bet on the fake so hard, and of course, there's some conditioning in there as well, isn't there? PARIVISION have played so many slow, boring rounds, and they don't have brackets, and they just execute B, and Sinners fell for the bait. That's all kicker. That is all kicker that round. Onwards we go. Not sure if Sinners have any pauses left, but now could be the opportune moment.
Trying to solve the puzzle that is this PARIVISION team. Always nice to find extra time to get your pieces together for the puzzle. But they won't do it here. Deep smoke middle. Could see some CT aggression, but it's heavy presence headed towards B instead.
Not totally surprising. They played a lot of early round bracket stacks and necessarily netted them all too much. Notice very low, and Zeko might even pre-fire this. Good kill. Gets out of dodge. Hopefully, Util peppers him up a little bit more. 8 HP for Zedko. Everyone's feeling worse for wear at the moment in Banana.
I didn't love that utility usage for PARIVISION. They throw a smoke that leaves a sliver of a gap on that half wall through, which is a neat idea if your opponents haven't seen that one before. If they have, well, it's a giant red flag to say, there's a player in this angle. Pre-fire me. Pepo. Looking to secure map point for the team. They'll take another one out of play. A little bit wide on that jiggle for Travis.
Was it jiggle or did he think he was getting some util help or something? That looked bizarre.
Column A, column B. Either way, it's a save.
Yeah, I thought, and this doesn't surprise me at all, I thought they might actually save immediately after they went 3v5. Okay.
Cono de calamari. How's your
I hate
Italian, Alan?
calamari.
You hate calamari?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I know I should have to rescind my second passport for that. They love it over there.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's great protein. Super cheap, too.
No.
I am a squid lover.
I like my seafood plain and boring.
That's very British of you. Yeah, put it in the fryer. Give me your nice fish and chips.
That's how everybody
No.
talks in the UK.
If it got a tentacle, I ain't eating it.
I ate octopus once.
Did you like it?
No.
Well, that's a problem.
I'm sure it can be prepared different. That was more, let's say, true to the original form.
I will say octopus is one of those things that is very down to the preparation. You have to do a lot of like blanching and massaging to get it nice and tender and delicious. It takes work.
It was like eating a car tire.
Yeah. So you had bad octopus. Well, I would implore you to give it another chance. Sinners are hoping that they will not give PARIVISION another chance in this one, because Parry, as we know, love themselves a bit of OT. Well, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Got away with that. Why are we playing so nonchalant towards Banana when Pepper was there last round?
Unpunished for the moment. It's going to be a Halls pop, it looks like.
They don't have the cavalry here yet. I guess it's going to be some sort of split.
But the two players are going back towards B? I can't read what this is exactly off of the minimap, which feels weird because I know where all 10 players are.
I think they're going to smoke Moto
There it
and
is.
Long. Balcony's a hella strong position against this.
If you can hold up, which they cannot. There is a trade, though. Flashbangs were good, but now there's 3 players here. 1 section off by the Moto Smoke, but 2 still in defense. That's a blinder of a shot from James. And he's looking for more. He can't quite find it, but the trade is there. Bomb will make its way to site. 25 seconds. And the spam from B-Stick is not enough. He knows he needs to stay alive to link up with his teammate. So the plant is done. Travis in pit would love to have any gun other than this. With his health, with the MAC-10, he may be more of an early warning system than a true threat. But that can still be invaluable if he can cause Zedco to turn at an inopportune moment. Time's getting short. Zedco has the kit. If he goes down, well, there is a kit in the middle of sight. But Travis with that MAC-10, is he enough? He's pulled him off. He's pulled him off. We're going to OT. B-Stick, you don't have time for that. There's just not enough time on this clock. We need more rounds.
Had to be. That looked pretty dire just before they executed. And Molly goes down onto the apartments. They end up committing through it. That kill from James. The replay doesn't do it justice. You need to see it at full pace. Live speed. They're burning through their 9 lives of PARIVISION to get this game to overtime. But they're no stranger, Mike. No stranger to extended bouts of Counter-Strike this week. Here we go again. Not too long of a pause.
Back on PARIVISION's wild ride.
So let me give you some Peppa Pig lore.
Okay. Hit me with the Peppa Pig lore.
Right. So they announced that there was going to be a sibling. I think the mama pig went on. They did like a spoof where she went on like a UK news program.
Oh boy.
And then she was
an animated figurine.
And she was pregnant on the news program, so everybody knew it was coming. There was a new sibling in the Peppa Pig family, and they didn't reveal the gender, Mike, until the last moment. And they had a huge reveal at Battersea Power Station, if you know where that is.
Sure.
And they had 2 chimneys. One was pink, one was blue.
Uh-huh.
And they were going to light up which one for the gender, and it lit up pink to reveal to the world that it was a baby sister for Peppa Pig.
And what is the baby sister's name?
I don't think that's revealed. Could be wrong.
Well, it's not a real gender reveal party if you don't light a state on fire. So they got that wrong. But it's good to know this bit of Peppa Pig lore. I'm sure this is what James has been focusing on as we head into overtime. He's been reading up on Peppa Pig. How do I defeat Beppo? I must study the Peppa. Divine the answers.
Be quite the arc. Yet again, more slow stuff from PARIVISION. They are intent on just deciding the first minute of the round doesn't exist. They got it right though, Mike. There's only 2 here. Flashbang takes Peppo himself off the angle. They got all this space towards long. This is such a hard hold for the CT side. That is a timely smoke though. Moto smoke makes it really awkward, and there's 3 guys here. They might be better off all rerouting into short because it's so tough.
They're going to do that. James connects the first shot. Now if Belchanol can come out and just claim this mini player. Oh, he's going to take Library instead. There's the trade, but now they know about mini pit. Shock, you're not getting out of this angle. And your teammates aren't doing much of anything at all. Zedco, I know it's OT, but this one ain't happening. Might be worth the save.
It is. Even if you've got money, your AWPer might run out. If you could lose the first 2 rounds of OT. So, We've seen a lot of A rounds in PARIVISION, haven't we? If we add this on to the end of regulation. And Sinners are struggling to get good stacks off because we saw the perpetual mid stacks earlier in the half back in regulation. This round, they were not in good position on A. They were really not well placed to deal with that hit. And despite the best efforts actually of the 2A players who did so much to buy time, they could not get the cavalry over.
Nage exchange, classic early Inferno. Look at the call for PARIVISION to just spam the heck out of the apartments early on in the round. They're expecting something to come through from Sinners, and well, they have got Travis up into the apartments, but there was no one from Sinners actually contesting this.
I wonder what's kind of scared them into playing so slow early round, because it's not like Sinners were playing particularly aggressive CT half. And we're going back to apartments.
What was that smoke?
It was likely Bolly will give up a noise cue, and now they might need to change their plans. Still got 2 smokes. What is going on with that smoke in...
Yeah, it was fumbled. It was fumbled. We weren't watching it, but it was definitely supposed to be a...
Must have been a library smoke or something.
Is some sort of set of that and absolutely bungled. And actually, as a result of that, they're headed in towards B. So ironically...
Oh dear, yeah, look at the stack.
The fumbled smoke has led them the right direction. James may be dead. But if anything, that should just funnel his teammates further into this. If there's a molly for Zedko, he is in so much trouble. Desperately trying to stall. Finds some purchase up ahead. Slips away from the new box, preempting this Molotov. But Zedko, he is down. Done and dusted. Maresco, 1 on the spram. 1 on the spray. Belchanot gone. Beastic ahead of this. These rotations have been lightning quick. Travis knows he needs to get this bomb planted. But he's so nervous about a player pressuring through. And now it is just Travis, and he can't get off that bomb in time.
These nades are getting funky from PARIVISION. That ruin smoke was so deep. Allowed, I think it was Marisco to play in front. Actually, it might have been Beastic. Beastic to play in front of it.
Yes, Beastic. I mean, Beastic picks up the 4 kills, but I do want to credit Zedko. Zedko doesn't get anything, but just stalling that little bit extra allows his teammates to figure out what's going on in time.
Smoke is so bad, man. So bad. That should have been PARIVISION's round.
We also saw fumbled smoke in the long setup, right?
Yeah.
So it's... I don't know what's going on. But this is not the time to be fumbling your nades. Simple mistakes can cause devastating losses. James collects 1 on the first, but the nades will take note out of the logs. And now Zedko on the line with his op. Oh, was itching for that peak. Advantage Sinners, as they have not lost hope of taking us to a 3rd map.
It's a bold move to wait until round 27 until you show the double AWP. It's paid some dividends. Back into apartments. It's only shock on this side of the map. He could get overwhelmed. Pepper with the AWP is a way off, but why did it have to be James second? They could have done with a rifle to go in behind. There's obviously no scope here for saving, but I don't think there's any route back into this round. Golden opportunity here for Peppo, and he connects. It will be 14 for Sinners. Especially when this bomb is dropped.
45 seconds for James to cook.
It's not going to happen. Why aren't they rotating?
Can't count the man out.
There you go. They're in the bomb now.
Can't count the man out. It's gone to the AK. Oh, well, count the man out. We're going to swap sides here. It's a lead for Sinners. It's advantage on. Not conclusive just yet, but it is looking good for our 3rd map.
Could have got nasty. Could have got nasty if they found shock, but it was a hell of an off angle. All right. Slim lead for Sinners. PARIVISION would dearly love to collect this first round of overtime. First round of the second half of overtime. What have we got? 3v start for PARIVISION. Now Beltronic is coming back after dispensing his nades. So you'd imagine that Nota and Kicker will have quite a lot of util as we go into the middle and late round. Apps is cleared in the meanwhile. Good flashbang to take James off the angle. So all is pretty on par with a regular Inferno round for now.
Shot exchanged. Traded. Instantly. James lost, but so is Peppo. Now Noda working this. Kicker slides into support from behind the pool smoke. He is dealing damage. It all falls to Shock in a 1v4. This is looking rather hopeless. Nades to chase. Whittle away his health. He'll try and pressure on the player backside, but he's just so low. 2 HP. And a swing on out will finish this. We are all knotted up once more as we hit round 29.
The util did come into play. That late molly essentially sealed the deal. Sinners had no way of getting past it. Very well played by Kickert. And playing go now. First to 16. There's that early engagement down towards short. Not necessarily the norm to have your AWP on the lurk, but why not? Oh, they're going to go fast, and it's the good call. There's only 2 here on A. They have a job to do. They really need to smoke Moto. Good job, Beltronic.
First kill out, and with the first, the second falls as well. Now the dominoes, they just keep falling over. The site's cleared off. The bomb is down. There's no actual point to saving at this juncture. But how do you even get stuck back in? Map point is going to go the way of Sinners. PARIVISION, they don't see the avenue. Maybe if there's a hyper overextension, but without it, there's truly no way here, Alan.
Colossal call from Sinners. What a prediction. So awkward for PARIVISION. They got maybe a bit unfortunate their positions. I mean, balcony is not where you want to be playing when you're getting wrapped on A. Hindsight's 2020, but maybe that player should have pushed into apartments. I'm not sure he had another choice. But yeah, I'd say call there from Sinners is the linchpin to winning that round. To credit to them, and it earns them an all-important map point.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Talk about putting it all on the line. Look at the damage. How on earth? They went all in. They pushed the chips in the middle of the table and said do or die. And they are thriving off of that. 4 on 2 now. Noda is isolated. But a risky push of the smoke will mean that Noda is going to be so very secure. It falls to Shock.
Well, you know, Sinners make a very bold call to win the previous round. Make another bold decision here. And they get dominated.
And if it's death by 1,000 paper cuts, so it must be. But that's just fine as far as they're concerned. Shock, how do you put the pieces of this round back together? It's going to take a whole lot more than gilding.
Even on time, he can't win this.
Feels like it should be impossible. They'll try. No sense despairing before reality has set in. So he'll make his moves in towards B. You can see PARIVISION just do not want to give him the fight. Shame on the angle. I want to swing off of it. They've let him in. They've invited him in.
So I'm sort of stunned how disciplined they're playing. This is regulation. They'd be peeking all over the shop right now. But no. Taking no chances. Perhaps starting to set in, Mike, that they are potentially a couple rounds and 3 map wins from Pro League. That's it.
The prize on the end of the line is massive. And it is tempting. But the trick is not to take that bait too early and get yourselves hooked. You got to manage to get it off of the danger first. And if they can close here on Inferno, I mean, they've done the tough work, right? To drag this out into OT, now double OT. But they need to get it over the line. We can't get into a purgatory situation like we had last night because we've seen Sinners. They have the explosion. They have the potential. Mirage has been so tantalizingly close for this team. Good timing on that HE. B6 a bit ahead of it. Put another one to Rumble. He's being whittled down.
That was bold. Very bold. Thought he might have a gap, seeing the util coming in, but no. It was not the pit player that threw the nades. That is a very welcome opening, isn't it, for PARIVISION? They just need to get a good half under their belt.
Losing Belchanok, lack of a smoke there costs him. Jane back on the angle knows that he's got the space here, but Shock stays alive. Oh, that smoke pop doesn't quite work out the way they wanted, and now actually it punishes them. B6 down to 1. That's so unfortunate. The HE just missing a pixel.
Everywhere, man.
They got the right one, though. PARIVISION are bringing the numbers back to the right site. Sinners are ahead today.
They haven't got
25
time
seconds
to
is
mess
going to
around
be the
like
commit.
They're going so slow, and PARIVISION are correct. 3 on location. Travis, Pitt, Jamin cold. He's even swapped onto a rifle to help out with the crossfire. Low HP players galore here. Surely going to get shredded. And this bomb, does it go down? James spams the wrong position. Doesn't deny. But the HP is such a disaster. I don't know how you can possibly win this. All
It's
they have to
headshots
do
or
is
bust.
bide their time, PARIVISION. And stick in the smoke is bold, but they have nothing to do. There's nothing they can do to take him off it.
Yeah, Beastie was too far removed. Good that he even got that lurk. I mean, 1 HP. He tried to maximize what he could do, but needed more.
This is a very scary round for PARIVISION because Noto, when he's B, top banana, he is so low.
Yes.
And they break the smoke and it's fumbled a bit. If they get through that smoke and trade 1 for 1, PARIVISION are in a world of trouble.
A game that's coming down to the thinnest of margins. Just 1 layer of a smoke grenade. Not popped. And that is the difference between a win and a loss. But these do feel like the moments that PARIVISION thrive in. I mean, it is that vintage style, right? Late round, late game, all the rounds, all the momentum now in their favor.
Oh, what a brutal overtime for Morisco. He just can't. He's trying so hard to be the hero. And it's not working.
That's a nice shot. That's a nice shot. Noda just misses the timing on the smoke jiggle. Taking the risk, and now they can phase through the edge of the Molotov. Smoke covers just enough of this. Kickert flash, dead, dropped. So even with Maresca's loss, this round is recovered, and Peppo, now a second shot on, has all but secured this. James gonna try and open back the door into this retake, but he needs brilliance, and he can't quite find the killing blow, so Travis will back away. We are tied once more here, Alan.
Truly nothing between these teams.
Peppo, it's funny. Peppo's, looking at his kill total, is not massive, but it does feel like he's having an outsized impact in a lot of these rounds.
I think he was struggling quite a lot at the start of regulation. So yeah, now to bring it back to fairly even numbers means he's at a disproportionately good later stages of the map. Okay, 16 apiece. Here's that opener. Don't see it in the replays, but the kill from Peppo onto the player jiggling out towards B. It was Nota. Was notable. Right, round 33. PARIVISION would love to take a lead into the second half of this bout of overtime. And I'm watching Travis because he is aggressed in apartments. Does he feel like going further?
Ooh, backs away. Actually, right as he would have found contact with Shock. Perhaps wise, though, because if he drops, then you've got one guy in James to hold down all of A. It's a little bit more flexibility allowed here.
Information's very much lacking for PARIVISION. Beltronic is having to actually consider there could be a lurk through long. We've just cleared it, so they now know that isn't the case. What have we got going on here? Kicker is actually isolated alone. Look how advanced Zedko is. He wants this fight. Kicker has so much work to do.
That's the round.
Never gets the chance. Yeah, if this is regulation, they'd be saving. Obviously, the retake's attempt is going to come in, but with 2 more smokes for CT, they've got to use the HEs to go through those smokes.
And look at how James frozen, because he knows that there's a lurk still on the side of the map. But the problem is, by waiting to try and clear it out, you're just eliminating whatever slim chance you actually had at winning this. Sometimes you just have to ignore it and let that become a problem when it does. So he's going to come in, he's going to group up, they'll attempt the retake. Shock is routed in to be able to support from Banana instead of the flank. First kill does open things up, but good damage on the Noda. Should just be too much. There's just not enough time. There's just not enough clock. It's desperation, pure and simple here. And so they will find themselves mashed upon the sight hold of Sinners. A lead once more. The dream of Mirage is not yet dead.
So tenacious. Starting to abuse that B-bomb site. And I'm starting to wonder if they're realizing that when PARIVISION plays passive, it is solo B. Because that was really aggressive. Aggressive in a way that if there were to be, especially if there was an AWP around, it wouldn't have gone well. Right. Pause for Sinners. I like it. Slow the game down. Have a discussion. They'd love to win this round and apply some pressure. Peppo's looking towards B. We saw this a little bit earlier. He's starting to find some success on PARIVISION players, getting a bit lackadaisical in how they're taking Banana. He looks towards B yet again with this AWP.
Aggressive from Zedko. Knows he has a player sectioned out in logs, and he's going to run him down. What a ballsy call. Kickert's going to walk this smoke. Kickert's going to... Oh, my goodness, Kickert. This is such a risk. He hasn't found the kill that he wanted, but at least he does take back the space. Show a little bit of face out of that bomb. Meanwhile, his teammates are trying to hit A, and no success there. Marisco steps up. The ragdoll actually distracted, I think. Travis couldn't find the headshot with his teammates in the face. Kick it, though. Gives them a chance to plant this bomb.
This is not done yet. Of all the sites in the game, you don't half mind a 2v3 on A on Inferno.
A little surprised
There's
Jim
a
goes to the rifle.
re-smoke for Moto, and Kicker wants to be the hero.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Kicker on the wrap. Oh, he showed the AK and grabbed the op. Now Kicker gets a kill. Now he comes back. Peppo's going to have to count for this. He's going all the way through the halls, but this is going to buy so much time. Kicker's not aware. Now he checks.
Wow.
Now he swings. PARIVISION, they've done it. They've tied this up once more. This dynamic duo with so many years of history between them. James and Kickert, and it's Kickert who's the hero this time around.
I want to give Marisco some plaudits because he played that round so well. There was 2 or 3 times before he died that I thought he was a dead man. Yet, his teammates were just too much out of position. Weren't able to support a terribly effective way. Just as Sinners sneak out a lead, it gets snatched back 17 all. Round 35 to come. I'm right in thinking PARIVISION had a series point yet? I don't think they have they?
No, I don't believe so. They've been chasing Sinners here.
Just highlights how brutal a loss this could be for Sinners. When does it start to weigh as well? The chance is presented. Had their moments where they could have got this done. As James here goes looking. Nobody around for now. Re-smoke on towards Banana as Sinners begin to lean. They've got 2 in apartments and it has not been cleared. That's where this information is coming from. Shock starts to move. They know everything. They know it all now. This should not be winnable for PARIVISION from here.
What is Peppo coming to support? Starting to do it. Good damage on Marisco off the nades, though. 30 seconds. They've got to commit. Shock's just holding to see if they come for the late panic rotate. Seeing the util now coming out from Sinners. They just don't have the option. They don't have the time anymore. Everybody's here. Everybody's ready to fight, ready to brawl, and the kills are stacking up for PARIVISION. You might have the numbers, you might have them all, but at the end of the day, you still got to get the kills. And those elude you. There's time enough for this plant. They need to get that bomb stuck down. Oh, they've got it. And Shock's a little too late to try and deny. Now they're swinging in towards Pooh. He'll find Belch, a knock on the first phase. That he can overcome. Smokes. Nade to try and pepper one out. Kicker it is low. Smoke blocks James' angle. But James takes the shot, risks it all. He doesn't need to see ya to find map point, series point. One more round and PARIVISION move into the grand final of this season of the ESL Challenger League.
That's going to sting to a level that I'm not sure any round before this could. Sinners had every advantage. Every single one. But the trades were brutal. The trades were incredible. PARIVISION, we said it throughout these playoffs, they are finding a way to win these games when maybe they should not.
Zed goes back to this. Zed goes back to this. Just trying to take command here on Banana, but this time it's become predictable. Noda waiting behind that smoke, and a slight adjustment to his angle means that now he can punish, and you can see the desperation. They are so loath to give up these fights. Peppo will be able to bring that back. That's massive. It felt as if they walked out of that with a 5v4. They might have just crumbled then and there.
The bomb is a real way off. That's a bit of an oversight. I hope it doesn't cause issues. As Kicker goes looking, there's a player under the balcony. Head shows. Kicker takes his jewel. There's a guy behind him in towards library. Timely smoke. So for now, these 2 on A are still isolated. Beastic has flashes. Can he deploy them? Shock tucked towards Cold. Massive kill. He is felled. Coming through the library smoke. Doesn't last long. This could be the end. They snatched this player in pit. It is so awkward. And Peppo now is on location.
Oh!
Bombs dropped cold as this round starts to slow down.
You can't move off the site. Okay, he's got the C4. By having to clear out that pit player, by staying alive so long, that opens up the sight lines for Peppo to get the op kill now. Kickert's going for altitude. Peppo, are you ready? One shot for the map, down to 4 HP. Misses his first, but he's going to get a do-over. He's going to get a second attempt. Flashbang to try and pull him off, but Kickert's ahead of it. He's not blind. Not at all. And one more bullet to finish. Kickert has done it. He has captained his squad, and he has led with his rifle. They have victory. They have the 2-0. They get their rematch with Bait. They move on.
It almost feels like somewhat of a redemption arc from yesterday's series, because this time PARIVISION, they were the ones chasing. They were the ones chasing PARIVISION pretty much the entire map from the end of that first half onwards. And they prevail. They only needed the one go, Mike. They only got one series point. And it was a round that did not look like a done deal for a lot of it. Right up until the end. Kickert, my hero, gets them into the grand final.
What a play. What a moment to step to the forefront. Oof. Challenging map. I like that towards the end we saw both teams hold nothing back, go for the bold moves, go for the aggressive plays, try and play to win as opposed to not to lose. It's going to be such a disappointing one for Sinners because they have had a hell of a season. They have had a hell of a run here in season 49 of the ESL Challenger League. But at the end of the day, they are out in third place and that dream of the Pro League is extinguished.
There's no doubt that this series will sting. This map maybe should have been theirs. If you look at it on some of the rounds they managed to lose. But given the team's changes, given some of the flux for them, third place here is very respectable. They lost to Bait, and now they've lost to PARIVISION, the two finalists. And this is definitely a better PARIVISION than we've seen in some of the other series too. So it'll be disappointing, but that's sport. And we're set up for a pretty spicy grand final. The known versus the unknown. New team versus the old. Bait against PARIVISION.
And a map to the good, a map to the lead. But to find out that grand final, we're going to have to wait till tomorrow. In the meantime, South America is coming up and then North America after that. So stick around for more ESL Challenger League action. Goodbye for now.